I'm slightly different because I got my realisation in Sheffield in January 1981, and Shri Mataji was in India at the time. She was on India tour, so I got my realisation from the photograph. But it did feel incredibly powerful, and I just met a friend on the street, and I remember I was in a very low state at the time. I felt really depressed, and I'd been looking for something, and I'd got more and more unhappy, and was living this lifestyle, much same as everybody else, full of hippies. I was living in a house, people were dealing drugs from the house. I was in a really bad, low position, and I met this friend on the street in Sheffield, and we went for a drink, and then I said, I feel so unhappy and so low, and she said, I know exactly what you need. She'd been down to Brighton and she'd got her realisation, so she took me to her parents' house actually, because she was back visiting her parents, and sat in their front room, and I got my realisation. And I remember being absolutely blown away. I didn't really know what had happened to me. I didn't really understand, really, but I just knew it was fantastic, and I was like, wow, this is quite amazing. Really, the only word I can think of is blown away. But because I didn't really know what was happening to me, I had to keep going back to see her and say, oh, can we do that thing again? Whatever it was that you were doing. And I was, like drinking, smoking, doing everything, all drugs. And like Anne, I just stopped, like literally within about 2 days, I'd stopped everything and really started to do this. And it just kind of grew from there. But I didn't actually meet Shri Mataji until the Sastrara Day Puja, which would have been in May. So it was about 4 or 5 months before I actually met Mother. And I do remember really strong, it was in Chelsham Road, and I remember sitting there, and I was so excited because you've waited, it seemed like forever, 4 or 5 months to meet Mother. And I remember turning round as she came through the door into the meditation room, and I was just struck. It was almost like she was radiant. She was like this radiant lady, but I was also really struck how physically small she was, like her frame, because in my mind she was this very large, very wonderful sort of lady, and then just see Mother, and she looks so sort of, statue is so small, but it was just amazing. And I remember she walked in and took her seat in Chelsham Road, and it was beautiful actually. They had lots of irises and little narcissi on either side of Mother. And do you remember the arch in the meditation room at Chelsham Road? And then I remember I just cried. I think I cried for the whole puja because I'd met Mother, and some people kept passing me handkerchiefs. So that was my first experience of meeting Mother.